All right, we are live. How's it going, everyone? This is Danny here with PMU World, and we are back with another amazing live for you, the PMU World family. And so, if this is your first time tuning in, every couple of weeks we're going to bring in a couple of new speakers so that you learn a little bit more about their story, how they get started, and most importantly, what to expect from their segment at PMU World 2024. Now, I'm really excited for our guest today, and it looks like she's already here, which is quick. Rocking and rolling here.
What up, Danny?
It's a party. What's up, Jody?
How's it going?
Going well. What's today? How's your Wednesday going?
Wednesday's been good. I live in Canada, so we've had a snowstorm for the last 2 days. It's like winter will not vacate the premises here.
Yeah.
So I want to get through the week because next week it's back on to spring weather and then golf starts, which is like mud jam. So I'm really excited about that.
Amazing. I love the natural lighting you got in the background. Looks beautiful out there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll give you a quick little pan here.
Yeah. Let's get that little studio tour. There's snow and everything.
Yeah. So it's the real deal around here. Lots of crazy weather. It's ridiculous.
Amazing. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on today.
Yeah,
What I was telling everyone before you were hopping on, I think a lot of times when there's speakers at conferences, a lot of the attendees don't really get to know them. And so what I really want to do today is highlight a little bit about your story. I've never heard it before, so I'm actually really excited myself, and just kind of go through the trenches of how you got started, how you got into the industry, and towards the end, we'll definitely talk about what to expect from your segment at the show itself. But are you excited, by the way, for the show?
Oh my God.
It's like 3.5 months away.
Well, first off, I am beyond excited. I'm beyond grateful to be there and be a part of all of this. So yes, I've already got my presentation organized. That's how excited I am.
Love it. 3.5 months early.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's take it a couple chapters back. What's the story of Jody? Like, how did you get into this crazy industry? I love hearing everyone's stories because everyone's is so different, and I feel like nobody ever expects to get into this industry. It just kind of happens. So how did all of this happen for you?
I know, 1,000%. No story getting into this industry seems to be the same. Mine started back in 2008. I graduated from school in marketing, and I did that, had a job in marketing. I ran a satellite office, but in the behind the scenes, I always had my own business, which was being a makeup artist since I was in high school. And how that started was I did wedding makeups on the weekend, which then evolved into film and television. And then I kind of left the whole marketing world because I was making way more money doing makeup. It was just what I was passionate about. So I ended up going to school at Blanche McDonald and continued on that journey for a while. And then I was approached by a physician who had turned into a PMU and paramedical trainer and asked if I wanted to apprentice her, which is like, would never happen again. It's just not going to be a repeat in history of that, but that was unique to me. So for the next 4 years, I went back and forth. She lived in Vancouver and I'm in Calgary. So I would fly back and forth there and train with her. And I think one of the really unique things about how I got started was it was 50% paramedical, 50% permanent makeup. And so that was a different vibe back then for sure. I mean, not only had people not ever really heard about PMU, but they certainly didn't know about paramedical on top of that. So, that's how the whole thing kind of started. And then once I felt like I had enough training, I opened up my own business, and my makeup artistry business was called Cinnamon Girl. And I had quite a few people like recognize the name, and it sort of had its own following. So I was like, I don't want to really lose that. And people always remembered it, like whether it was like she's like a cinnamon bun or something, but they'd always find me. So I was like, okay, I think I got to just stick with this. And I didn't want to lose that following I had built. So long story turned into Cinnamon Girl Clinic, and that is my brick and mortar store in Calgary. And then of course I have my Jody Stosky Paramedical Tattoo Academy, which is where I teach and train all things paramedical tattooing.
Amazing. Where did the name come from, though? I know that was from your previous business, but where did the Cinnamon Girl
So we
come?
were, it's not from the song. It's not from a cinnamon bun or the spice. It's funny because one of the girls that works for me, she's like, it's because your skin, right? Your skin kind of looks like cinnamon. And I'm like, well, that's a cute story, but it's not. I just kind of came up with the name and thought it was catchy and kind of cool. And I never wanted it as a makeup artist. I had a vision of me having a lot of other makeup artists that could work for me as well. And so I didn't want to call it my name, because what happens with that is that people then go, well, I only want Jody Stosky. It's Jody Stosky Makeup Artistry. I couldn't grow it from there in my mind as good as I could have done if it was just like more generic, so that they'd be like, oh yeah, I want Cinnamon Girl to do my makeup, and they wouldn't know who they needed to get. It would just be like an even playing field.
I see. I see. So let's kind of dive deeper into like the beginning stages of you growing the business. So when you transitioned, so you said you were doing like half permanent makeup, half
Mm-hmm.
paramedical, right off the
Yeah.
bat. Okay, and so how did you get some traction, momentum going on? Because I'm assuming the reason why I asked that, I'm gonna get into this later too, but you know the industry is super different now compared to back then. So like, how did you get your traction, your name out there? How did you get your like initial number of clients coming in?
I mean, like rewinding time that far, I took my network of people that I already had from
Mm,
makeup and started utilizing that to get models. And social media didn't exist back in the day. So it was a different process of more word of mouth. And what I would do was get before and after photos, and I would make them into, well, like what I would call a lookbook, like what you would have for showcasing like models or your makeup artistry to get people to sign you. And I would take these lookbooks around everywhere. I had hundreds printed, and they were really nice quality. Like the idea was to have them in their waiting room at, a plastic surgeon's office,
mm,
or,
mm.
whatever business that I thought they could have my target market. That's how it all got started. It was literally just like boots on the ground, old school, you know, just word of mouth, honestly, and me putting in the work and hustling. I know that's a part of it today for sure, but there were other things too that I started doing. I did radio ads, newspaper ads. I went and found as much media
Mm.
as I could that would promote my story and talk about me. And back in the day, as I'm sure you can imagine, that was like a very strange concept of people tattooing makeup or tattooing scars. So it was really embraced with open arms because it was so unique, and I really took advantage of the fact that people thought that. So I was like, okay, this is an eye opener for people. They get excited about this, and I would monitor people's reactions to figure out like what are the things that people want to hear and learn and see. And all the stuff that we do, it's so visual. So it's easy to grab someone's attention with that, and that's a really fortunate, cool thing about what we do.
And then what year did the clinic start, Cinnamon Girl Clinic, when you got into the permanent makeup paramedical side?
So 2008, I
2008.
was
Okay.
training and opened, like I'm just like a jump off the deep end kind of gal. So I I probably did training for the next 6 years, but I
Yeah.
was working while I was doing that. I basically decided to throw the towel in with makeup. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, well, there's no other option here but to completely focus and 100%, like everything
Mm,
all in, all down
mm.
on the PMU and paramedical.
Amazing, amazing. And so the clinic that you opened, is it the same one that you are currently running now, or did you like ever switch locations in these
Yeah.
chapters?
So the very first one that I opened was in a spa, and I just rented a room. It
Oh,
had no
okay, got it.
windows. It was so tiny. I couldn't even keep my stuff in there. I had to have it on a little cart, and I would like bring it in for my shift. And I outgrew that actually quite quickly and was asked to come work at a cancer clinic in Calgary.
Mm,
So I did that, had my own room. I didn't have a window yet, but I was getting there. The room was much bigger. And then I stayed there for I think about 3 years. And then the big moment was when I signed my own lease and I went into a medical professional building, of which I stayed in for about 5 years. And then I custom built my own space about 5 or 6 years ago now. And I'm still in that current location. And I still have the staff that I had from like way back when, which is really
Oh,
great.
that's amazing. And then obviously your academy, that's the location that you are teaching and educating out of as well.
Yeah, most of it is
Yeah.
online, but we are talking about doing some in person, and that would definitely be where it's being held.
Love it, love it. So I think you as an artist, you're like you do permanent makeup, and you also do paramedical, right? And so I kind of want to go more into like the learning lessons. You've grown so much clientele, you've worked in so many procedures, and so for you, like how was it growing both aspects of it? Because we have permanent makeup artists who only do permanent makeup, and we have paramedical tattooists who only do the paramedical side. But you are like a hybrid from the get-go. And so
Yeah,
can you walk us through like some of the learning lessons you've had along the way working with both types of services?
I think it was like dealing with such different clientels. A
Hmm.
lot of the PMU ends up being a woman who is looking to revise her makeup regime, get more time back in the morning, you know, have that confidence. And so there's definitely one clientele that I would work with that I feel like most people would identify with when it comes to PMU. And then my paramedical, I was working with a lot of physicians, and
Okay.
that is a whole nother kettle of fish, right? They are speaking a different language. I'm very just immersed in their medical lingo, learning a lot more so that I could basically walk the walk and talk the talk and make them feel like I could be part of their team, and not have them nervous like if I was going to do something that was, inappropriate or not something that they would want their name associated to. So it was it was more understanding the different learnings.
Hmm.
With the paramedical, I think one of the biggest ones is like not only the physician side of it and navigating that, but then also the fact that I had to get to know how to manage the clientele that I was actually working on, which was primarily people who were going through chemotherapy or who
Hmm.
had been through some type of cancer journey. And the thing that I really struggled with at first was losing some of those clients. And driving home and just feeling so emotional about my day at work. And then maybe before that, I had this like great PMU client, and, she was so excited and happy. And then my next client has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and has like a year to live, and just kind of going from those highs and
Hmm.
lows. So that was probably a big learning curve for me at the beginning of how to deal with that. And
Yeah.
like not coming home driving crying, I was like, okay, I have to change my focus to not get caught up in the sad part of this story. I really had to realign my thoughts and go, okay, you need to focus on being able to give them confidence. You need to focus on bringing something positive to them in this, chapter that they're in. And I think that was how I changed it. That's how I kind of rewrote that for myself. And to this day, it's not that I don't hear really sad things. And I think, God, some of this is just so unfair, but I really just have it in my heart that I'm just there to serve and help and bring some type of light to them. And that makes me feel
I
good.
love that so much. Fantastic answer. Somebody says it's such a roller coaster ride on so many levels.
Yeah, it is.
Um, so let's talk about like some advice, obviously, and then I want to pivot more into like your segment, like introduction to paramedical, what you're going to be speaking at PMU World. So for those who are looking to break into the industry, and maybe you can split it. Let's say somebody wants to start offering PMU, and the other segment wants to start offering paramedical. What advice would you have for those two buckets of people in terms of just getting things started and knowing how to get clientele through your door, since you've kind of done it all?
I'm, I'm an advocate of get some machine experience. That's what you need to kind of break through to be successful in this world, whether you do PMU or paramedical or both.
Mhm.
So when I teach or people ask advice, like, how do I do this? Because so many people want to know, right? They want to, I think they always see this with the rose colored glasses on, and it's like, oh, I can do that and just like hop in whatever. And it's like, well, I hate to totally burst your bubble here, but it's not really like that. It is immensely competitive, and the industry's
Oh,
changed a lot. So my advice of how to navigate and get in this is pick something that you are interested in first, whether it's PMU or paramedical. And I wouldn't do both at once because you'll probably get overwhelmed. Pick something that speaks to you. I think it's easier to get trained in permanent makeup to start with so
mhm.
that you can learn a machine. And then from there, the sky's the limit. And then you can really pick and choose what you want to do. I always think that having PMU as you need both in my mind. Like if you want to be successful and you want to be able to provide services to everybody, to all the masses, you want to be able to provide services to the masses. So for some it's going to be PMU, for some it's going to be paramedical, and for some it will be both. And I'm an advocate of, having as many tools in your toolbox as you can, but just start with the basics. Get in there and things will start to speak to you. And one of the really cool things that I love about learning, like my students learning paramedical or other PMUs learning paramedical, is that it becomes they're like, I didn't realize that, but that just became my why. It was, you know, PMU can be great and you're giving confidence and all that, but that can sometimes be like a bit of an eyebrow treadmill or an eyeliner treadmill. And doing paramedical is just completely different. I guess like the gratitude, the satisfaction,
Mhm.
the ability to give somebody back something that's been taken away from injury or illness,
Yeah.
and that's so life changing. It's tough to put it into words what that feels like for both you as a client and me as an artist.
That beautiful. And so we have a question along that. I mean, you touched it on a little bit, but somebody asked, how do you find the mix of PMU and paramedical? Do you suggest people do it together? Can you expand on that one more time?
Hmm. So as long as if you're a person who has machine experience, I I think there's absolutely no reason that you can't do both. And I promote that because in a competitive market like we have right now, think of being that person who appeals to everybody. You have services that, for example, you did someone's eyebrows because they had alopecia, and then as you're doing their eyebrows, you found out that they were in a car accident and they have a massive scar. They had open heart surgery and they're really self-conscious about that. And then they become your paramedical client as well. That is huge. And it's honestly a no-brainer to do both. You want to be able to do as much as you possibly can. It makes the most business sense.
Love it. Yeah, and I was gonna say like the business opportunity. I'm assuming a lot of your paramedical clients want to get PMU and vice versa too. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of upsells, downsells, getting people to come back in.
One of the things to mention too is a lot of you that are listening or that will be at the conference are already PMUs. It makes so much sense to add paramedical. You already have everything you need. So
Mhm.
essentially, you're banking some education on that, and then you can have this whole variety of other services that you can offer that is to 100% of the population. Because typically, PMU, let's just say it's mostly women. Now it's everyone.
Yeah, and saltwater. Thanks for always being on here, Saltwater PMU. You're like our number one fan. Do you recommend PMU experience prior paramedical because the depth is different with paramedical? I think you just slightly touched on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's those little like idiosyncrasies that you're going to learn with everything and with different techniques and different scars and skin types. So it's not that I recommend PMU because you're going to learn something very special that you're going to need to apply to paramedical. It's just learn how to use a machine,
Mm,
see what results come back, understand the skin and just how ink heals, how like the gamut, right? If you have a year of doing and seeing that back, you're ready.
Love it. So I think that's a perfect segue. So obviously, there's a lot of opportunity in the paramedical side of things. At PMU World, there will be a lot of PMU only artists who will be attending. So shed some light on what your segment's going to be about. What can we expect? What's all the exciting, good stuff from Jody's segment here?
Okay, so I am going to be presenting on areolas, and I'm very passionate about this. Yeah, I'm very passionate about it because this was one of the services that was the most popular for me, and I was probably the most intimidated to do it. So I think if I feel like that, probably most people feel like that. And what I love about how I teach is I want to take out the learning curve that I went through. I want to do all the mistakes so that you don't have to. And the way I educate is I break things down into bite-sized pieces, because one of the things that I feel in paramedical, because there's not as much of a guideline, like you're mapping a brow. Now, every brow is going to have all these different things, where in paramedical, it's sometimes not like that. So I've broken down the areola course into 4 pieces, and you just follow along the 4 steps. You're done your areola. It takes about 60 minutes to complete them, and they turn out amazing every single time. So taking the intimidation out of this, I think, is the biggest thing, because all of you have the capability. You don't need to be artistic. You don't need to know how to draw to do this. You just need to have the confidence and the education, and you're able to help so many women in need. And yeah, just add those services to your business. It is so simple.
Yeah. Somebody says brows intimidate me, so I'm going into paramedical. The other way around.
Oh my God, I love it.
Jody explains in her course is so easy. Awesome, awesome. And so you're also going to be doing a demo at PMU World, the conference itself. Okay, so anything else you can shed some light on in terms of what to expect from your 2 sessions?
Well, I mean, I want to give you guys so much information, and I feel like I've prepared something that is going to be just as exciting for you to hear as it is for me to present. There's some really cool new things in the industry, like being able to claim paramedical tattooing through insurance now, which is a game changer.
Yeah, so actually, sorry to interrupt. Can we dive a little bit deeper into that? You don't have to share all the secrets, since I'm assuming that's going to be part of the presentation, but this is something that I just heard over the past couple of weeks too. And so can you shed some light on that? I think that's such a great opportunity.
Honestly, like for people who have been in this industry, this is something that is like groundbreaking, and it's so exciting because this should be available to everybody, right? It really sucks if you're someone who's been through breast cancer and then you can't afford to get areolas, and then you have to basically walk around with a Barbie chest for forever and potentially have, you know, all the PTSD that comes along with it. So being able to get that covered is a simple process that we have a free course on. So you're going to watch the free course. It explains how to do that, and you just submit it. So you would be getting the money before the procedure happens, so on and so forth. I won't do a total deep dive in it, but it's quite easy and basic. And that's for US citizens right now.
That's for US citizens. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have the same benefits out in Canada?
No.
Or no?
Our healthcare system is much different than the US. And it's really unfortunate. Like, I've been an advocate actually for this for a really long time, and it's very difficult to move the needle with that, the way our healthcare system is set up. The only loophole in it right now for people is if they have what's called a healthcare spending account, and they can submit it through that. So it really depends on the kind of insurance that you have and the money that's allocated to that. So there's like a couple weird loopholes here as well, which I won't get into, but if you're in the US, you're in luck.
Amazing. And so somebody says go US. Stosky.
USA.
Go USA. Is that a beer?
No, Coke Zero.
Oh, I was like,
I mean, yeah, it's a beer.
So a lot of opportunity, right? Not just for PMU artists looking to break into paramedical, but also on the business side, like you were mentioning. So we're really excited. So if you guys are not yet on the for sure going to PMU World, make sure to get a ticket so you can watch this demo live in person. In terms of PMU World, who are you excited to see most?
You, Danny, it's all about you. Okay, well, of course you, but I'm I'm so excited to meet the people that are coming
Yeah.
to the conference. It's so inspirational to be around people that are doing the same things or aspire to do the same things, and meeting the other leaders in the industry. You just come back and you're so fired up, and I love that. You can't do that anywhere else. There's something about an in-person event like that you just leave and you're just like, yeah.
Yeah. And are you speaking at any other events this year, or is this the
I have a couple that are just getting lined up right now.
okay? Amazing. And so, I know you've been to a lot of like conferences before, and I always like to ask speakers this, but in your perspective, like, what's the importance of going to these conferences? Like, especially like, it's kind of breaking out of your comfort zone,
Mhm.
showing up in person, connecting with industry leaders and speakers and trainers in the community. Can you shed some light on the importance of that?
Absolutely. One of the biggest ones is networking and getting to know your peers
Yeah.
and getting to know the industry on a deeper level. So maybe it's going to inspire you to add some different services. Maybe you're going to hear someone talk on something that you already do, and it completely changes your game and the way you do it. When you are in person, there's so many little pearls of wisdom that are dropped that you won't get again, and it's a shame to miss out on those. And PMU can be such a lonely business. One of the things that I struggled with is feeling alone and feeling just like everybody was after me competitively, because it wasn't, I mean, for now and before, it was, I wanted to be community over competition, but it was hard to do that because it was just so much competition. It was hard to make friends. And now I feel like, after I've been in this industry for a long time and I do know a lot of people, it's made it very easy to make community over competition. And I like to be able to help people see that, and so that they can do it too, and not make it that lonely, like you're just like a lone wolf out there trying to make it and try and grow your business and, make it a success.
Yeah. So you're a celebrity. So people come and they see you in person. Can they come up to you and say hi and
Oh my
take some
gosh.
pictures?
Well, that is very kind of you, but I am just like everybody else there. I'm just a regular person. I'm grateful to meet you, so please come up and introduce yourself. I love meeting you all, and I'm very approachable.
Amazing. Have you been to Miami before or that
I
side?
have been a few times, but
Okay.
it's been a minute, and I'm very excited to stay in the hotel.
Okay. Yes. Stay at the hotel. There's going to be a lot of like VIP events. Well, you're probably going to be at all of them. We have like the red carpet mixer. We have the celebration party. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Can't wait for you to experience PV World for the first time. So it's going to be great.
Honestly, I'm pumped. Like, I have to, like, kudos to you. This has such an incredible reputation. It is the biggest conference in North America, and it's just people like you that have made that happen, and it just speaks volumes about, you and your business and everything you stand for.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jody. So we got a couple of questions. I'm going to scroll up because I think we missed a
Yeah.
couple here. Um, I'm not sure if I'm reading this right. So this is Nurse Shia Marie. Do you complement paramedical tattooing with laser or microneedling? Okay.
Yeah,
There you
absolutely,
go.
all the time.
Okay. I'm just can't wait to meet you. Any advice on securing insurance as a paramedical tattoo artist?
Okay, it's very different from state to state. So my best advice is to reach out to the provider in your city or town to figure out what that is for you, because I have over 3,000 students in 42 different countries, and I can't even begin to tell you the insurance stories I hear. So it's not something I can help navigate for you, but it is easy enough for you to find out in your location, and I would just encourage you to do that.
Amazing. If you guys have any questions, drop them below, and then I'm going to ask Jody as we kind of close up the last like 10 minutes here. Somebody is asking, is there an online option to attend? So I'm going to give you two answers. Answer number one, yes, there is a virtual option, and you do get lifetime recording, so you can watch it live, and then we're going to send you to the recording so that you can watch after at your own pace. However, I would recommend going in person and not even making the online option an option. So go in person so you can meet amazing artists and trainers like Jody and actually learn live from them in person. Okay. So what's next for Jody? Meaning like business wise. I know you got Cinnamon Girl Clinic going on, you have your trainings. Oh, talk to us about your product. I didn't even
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
I totally forgot about that, about your product.
so what I recently launched with Bianca from New Conceal, who I love, I know you love her too, is a new ink line for paramedical tattooing. And the coolest, never seen before, most incredible thing about this is that it's a medical grade product that works in a system with serums in it. So you're taking advantage of not only the camouflage aspect of it, but you're regenerating and improving scar texture, collagen, elastin, all of those things that are so important while you're doing this procedure. So it shortens the time of treatments, for one, the number of treatments, and the results are freaking incredible. Like, just a total game changer. So many exciting things, right? Like, there's insurance for this, there's inks that have been taken to the next level. The medical grade products that are available now are just, they're blowing doctors away. The results that we're getting is just beyond.
And what's it called one more time?
The ink is just a collaboration. It's our Dark Scars Camouflage ink. It's available on the new site. I can drop a link, but it's part of the Dark Scars Camouflage training. So I teach you how to use them because it's kind of a different concept than a lot of other paramedical tattooing concepts are, or that I teach, for example, in light scars. So they're kind of two different options.
Amazing. So yeah, do you mind dropping the link in the comments? Somebody's
Not
asking
at all.
for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll definitely do that.
Okay, so we'll do that. Yeah, so what else is next for you? You got the clinic going on, you got products, you got your online trainings. What does the rest of 2024 and even 2025 look like for you?
I think my heart and soul is always in paramedical. My brick and mortar is never going to change because I like being an educator that works. I want to still have my finger in that pie because I think it's so important to not just see the progress and how things change and improve and be a part of that process. So education, I think for me, is where my focus will be. I'm really entertaining doing more in-person stuff and maybe potentially traveling. I'll see how it looks. My kids are now getting older, so it makes it a little more viable for me to do stuff like this. So that's kind of an exciting time.
Amazing, amazing. And so what's the best way for somebody to stay in touch with you, Jody, and like get to know about like your courses, the products, is everything on your IG and bio?
Absolutely. So yeah, follow me at Jody Stosky and all the information is there. It will take you to all things paramedical, all things that you need to know to add this to your business and basically elevate, up level, do all those things that some of you are really missing out on if you're just being a PMU.
Amazing, amazing. So yeah, does anyone have any final questions for Jody here? And let me see if I'm missing. Can you see the comments as well, Jody?
I can. Can I drop that link right now if I'm in this, or will I lose you?
Yeah, go for it, please.
Okay, hold on. I need to.
Have you booked your flight tickets yet?
What's that?
Have you booked your flight tickets yet?
Yeah,
to Miami.
Yeah, Shay and I are flying out together.
Okay. We have a live with Shay coming out. Didn't you guys just do a live about the product as well, like not too long ago?
Yeah, we did a live, and then I did a live with Shara recently too about that. Okay. I'm always on lives.
Amazing.
Okay, I can't drop that link right now because I have to copy it, and I'm afraid if I get out of this screen, or can I do that?
What I'll do is we're gonna repost this video anyway, and so just drop it in the comment of the link, and then for whoever was asking about that, you guys can have the link directly because we're gonna repost the recording. A lot of people are gonna watch the replay on this, by the way.
Perfect.
Somebody asked, can you do this as a PMU artist? You want to answer that?
Absolutely.
That's the one word answer. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. And you should. It is like, it makes literally the most business sense. hit your head on the wall when you realize how easy it is to transition. It's
Yeah. Somebody asked, I don't know if you can do like a quick summary again, but Lip LA PMU is asked, or Lip Lab PMU is asking, what will we learn from you, Jody, at PMU World? I would love to do areolas. So maybe diving deeper into your
Mhm.
topic again.
I'm going to be teaching you how to do areolas in 60 minutes in 4 simple steps that you're going to be able to make it through and not feel intimidated or overwhelmed. It will be the easiest and most rewarding service that you could possibly add. I'll also be touching on the scars around areolas as well, because that's something that's really common. So just to be able to treat everything breasts, it's the best.
It's the best. Lip Lab PMU. Somebody is saying, I would love to transition. It just makes sense and give it this an opportunity. Alrighty. One quick question for you. Are you noticing any like industry trends that's, happening in 2024 right now in 2025? I like to ask a lot of educators and trainers this, just because again, like when you first started, the industry has changed so much. And so like, is there anything on the horizon you feel like might be the next biggest thing, maybe business wise, marketing wise? I know it's a long-winded question, but anything to look forward to in 2024, 2025?
So there was an article in The Hustle, this was a while back, and it said that paramedical tattooing is the next big thing. And I cannot agree with that more. I mean, I live in this world. I do paramedical and PMU all day. And when I say paramedical is the next big thing, I wholeheartedly believe that being able to do 3-dimensional tattooing is not only so cool, but it opens up some immense healing for people that have been left disfigured, whether it's scars or skin grafts, and being able to make that look whole again is something that I think the whole industry, not just like PMU and paramedical, but like medically, is very, very captivating.
I love it. So Jody's topic is what's trending for the next year.
That's
so
it. That's all you need to do, guys. Just come see me. That's it. Okay, well, what do other people say? What have you heard?
Who, me?
Yeah, like what have your other speakers said?
The last person I interviewed, they said AI. AI is the next biggest thing. I think, when it comes to like social media, content creation, business strategy. So that's one that we hear about a lot. Not so much of a trend, but more of like business tactics. Diversifying your services is one we hear a lot, which we talked about today. Just because, I think a lot, previously you could get really known for one thing and be really booked out for just one thing. But now with the competition and how so many other options, it's best business practice to be able to offer multiple things so that you can serve multiple people, different types of services. So those are some of the things we've heard. AI is obviously the biggest one.
I think AI is probably the best answer for sure. Maybe it's better than mine, Danny.
There's some platforms out there, like you can record yourself like talking for like 30 seconds and then they can send videos of you putting a script and it's like you talking.
Okay, so I looked into this because that has its benefits. I mean, you want to keep it real, of course, and have as much human interaction as you can, but I think there's a time and a place for that stuff. And I will say I don't think it's quite up to where it needs to be, that it just doesn't look like super fake.
We're testing this right now.
Are you?
So so everyone that's watching this live, we're about to send a personalized video to everybody.
Okay.
So I want everybody to be the judge of if it looks real or not. And so I'll send it to you too.
Okay, I love that. I thought you were going to say, so everybody that's watching, it's actually not me. I'm like a bot. I'm wearing the Danny skin.
Love it. Somebody says, amazing, thank you, purchasing. So I think you just got a course sale.
Oh, awesome. Can't wait to have you as a student.
We have Artistry MUA. Jody is a fantastic educator. Love her courses.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Cool. So let's a few last questions here that people are asking. I think let's like end more on like a motivational note. And I think a lot of people right now, transparently are struggling with their businesses.
Yeah.
The industry is changing a lot. There's a lot of
Hmm.
competition, saturation. People have options. There's like a price war to the bottom. And so any general business tips that you can provide to our audience here? You've had a thriving clinic, you have a team, you've done like thousands of different services and procedures. And so what are some like key business tips you can share with everyone here?
I think you have to really know your market for
Mhm.
one. So if you're in a small town and the demand for, I don't know, lip blush isn't there because it's just, not what people are doing, then I think you need to start focusing your attention on what people do want. And that for me was, that's how my business really started to grow. But at the end of the day, I've seen the ups and downs, and that does pass. But you have to stay consistent.
Mm,
So always working on your business, working on your social media. It is about hard work when it all comes down to brass tacks. You and I think that comes from like having to love it, right? Like you have to have your heart and soul in it to be able to put that much energy and effort into something. And I think that's why for me, it's not that it came easy, but I was passionate about it and I didn't mind, putting in the work and, maybe not making any money to start with and figuring out, how I said to you, I was like, I would pay attention to what people were engaged in
mm,
and, the emotional response, the facial, like going out and soliciting your services to everybody that you can, talking to local media. Like you have to start thinking outside the box and see what your competition is doing as well. Check their prices, see what they're doing, watch them on social media. It's important to be that well-rounded business owner to have
mm,
success. You can't just put a couple posts out on Instagram and go, well, my business is failing, because it's probably what's going to happen. You have to be organized and you have to hustle, you have to love it, right? And that's a big
mm.
part of it. I don't really have a silver bullet or a magic answer to say, this is what you need to do. It really is about hard work when it comes right down to it.
So what would you say like some of your biggest challenges were as you were growing the business to where it is today in terms of like getting clientele, scaling and everything?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I kind of struggled with was raising my prices and kind of taking my businesses to the next step, because I think I maybe
Mhm.
lacked the confidence in being able to say, like, yeah, I'm worth it. My art is worth it. I am going to start climbing and moving my business up and scaling it. So I, I'm trying to think if I have another answer to that question.
We're putting Jody on the spot for you guys, so great questions. Keep them coming.
Great question, Daddy. I don't have the answer.
No worries, no worries. This is somebody says this is not a thing in Michigan. I should focus. No, but I think you made a really good point. I think understanding your market and making clear decisions based on like data and supply and demand. I think
Mhm.
a lot of people tend to forget
Yeah,
that because we do get a lot of people are like, well, I want to open up a new studio in Austin, Texas, because I like the city, where it's
yeah,
not really basing it off of anything, and also thinking people can charge the same. Let's say I used to charge 800 in Florida, and then now I'm moving to like middle America, and then I want to charge the same prices. Like, there's a lot
exactly.
of things
Yeah.
you have to take into consideration.
I mean, one of the key things is I've built up a client base of loyal
Mm,
people, and they
mm,
become repeat clients and they tell their friends and then their friends tell their friends, and then you have a program of rewarding that. It's You always need to kind of continue to build on the momentum that you start to get. So it might just be something little, but then you're going to think about what that little piece was and go, okay, how can I make this a little bit bigger? What else could I grow this into? And yeah, it's even putting it out there to other people. If that's not how you think, ask other people, ask around and get other feedback from people. I think it's so great to get another opinion when you feel stuck, or even if you're just like, I need some more inspiration. What else could I
yeah,
do?
I love that. And so I think that are all the questions. Somebody says, thank you for sharing. See you at PMU World. Everybody go bug Jody when you guys see her live. Um, any last words of motivation or anything you want to close us out with for those who are watching now as well as the replay?
I just want to see each and every one of you there. I think this is the event of the year. Okay. If you're like contemplating on, should I go to this one or this one? Like, this is it. This
This
is all you need to
no
do.
excuses.
This is the only one, you guys. Just put your eggs in this basket and come.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jody. So, if you guys are not following Jody, I will in the what do you call it? The repost.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to tag you and everything as well.
Yes.
And so, Jody, thank you so much for taking the time. We'll see you in about 3.5 months. I know you have your presentation already, but it's going to be exciting, and I can't wait to actually formally meet you in person. So, looking forward to that.
Likewise. Yeah, I'll be on the countdown.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jody, and thank you everyone for tuning in. And
Thank
take
you.
care, everyone.
Thanks,
Have a
Danny.
great night.
Bye.
Bye.